Hello and welcome to this video. This video is about the left hand ragtime. Of course, this kind of technique could be applied to all kinds of music that jumps, like ragtime music does in the left hand, but because I am known for playing ragtime and I love playing ragtime so much, I'm only going to focus on just a few examples of ragtime. And the title of this video is how to revolutionize your playing of ragtime with these left-hand techniques. Left-hand techniques that some of you might not know about. Some of you may have been playing ragtime for a long time and may not know these things, and hopefully I will open your eyes a bit and it will revolutionize your playing. To learn more from me, you may become a member of the Well-Rounded Pianist at wellroundedpianist.com, where there are literally thousands of tutorial videos that are not featured on YouTube. So once again, you want to learn from me, go to wellroundedpianist.com and learn. Now let's get right down to business here. I'm beginning with a few examples from Swipesy Cakewalk. I'm using my old beat-up Joplin book here that's falling apart. But Swipesy here, and we're going to just look at the left hand very slowly, and I'm going to explain some really important concepts about the left hand technique, and then I will also go to the entertainer after this and explain these techniques in some passages in the entertainer. So let's get going here. We'll just ignore the introduction. And let's start right on the A section where the repeat sign is. So we're going to play the B flat octave here. Now, the first mistake that many pianists make is when they play a bass note, either an octave or a note, and then usually you go up and play a chord. The first mistake people usually make is they play this chord with the fifth finger on the bottom note. Usually, in most cases, whenever this chord is the interval of a sixth, 6 notes or less, you usually should not be using 5, but either 4 or sometimes even 3, depending on the inversion. So we have our octave here, then we're going to travel up and play 4, 2, 1. You see how you have to move less, you have to travel less distance to play 4 than you do with 5? I know it doesn't seem like that much, but every little bit helps to help the economy of motion. That's your goal in playing the left hand of ragtime, or really the left hand of anything, is economy of motion. So we're going to play this octave, and we go up and we're going to play 4, 2, 1. Now you're going to go down and play 5 on F. Then you're going to go back up and do 4, 2, 1. That's because 5 is closer. It's less distance to travel if you go 5, 4 than it is 5, 5. Also, if you go 5, 5, you're closing your hand up. And one of the tips, one of the most important things in ragtime playing or any music with a bass is always, 100% of the time, if you can, keep your hand open, keep it expanded. I see this a lot in a lot of students or pianists, student pianists, or pianists who don't know any better will play like this. They'll play a bass note and they'll go down and they'll play it with the flat part of the fifth finger, and then they'll travel up and then they'll play the fifth finger here. So let's take this here, compare this with this. It's about half the distance. If you do this and you go up to here, the thumb is first here, then it's here. So we're traveling, the thumb is traveling about that far. about 9 keys. Now, if you do it the correct way, where the 5th finger, you're going to have to put your wrist, make it so your wrist has this little indentation here. Don't play straight, but turn your wrist around like this. If you play straight like this, you're really going to run into a lot of problems. If you turn it like this and make a little, it's going to create a little V right there in your wrist. Look at how close my thumb is. Look at how close that is to its destination. It's only like 5 keys away. Okay, so I play this, and then I go up, and I play that. Now compare that to this. Playing the 5th finger flat, not having the wrist correct. The thumb is about here, and now you're going to have to travel about 8 or 9 keys. Compare that to this. You're only traveling about 5 keys. See? So you're traveling like almost half the distance, or in fact more than half the distance. So a good exercise is to take measure 2 of swipe C and just repeat that over and over. 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Now look at how stretched out the hand is. It's stretched out. It's not this. This here is absolutely terrible, terrible technique. Do not do this. And I see this so much. I see this all the time. Pianists will be playing ragtime like this. That's really bad. This is far, far superior because you travel less distance. Now let's go on. Now we're in the 3rd measure of the A section. If you play 4 here, then you play 3 and 5 and play 3, 2, 1. Do not play 5, 3, 1. Almost never, there are always exceptions. Almost never will you play the 5th finger or 5, 3, 1 if you have a triad in root position. That is for beginners, right? That's beginners. This is advanced. So if you want to play like an advanced person, you need to play either 3, 2, 1 or perhaps 4, 2, 1, but not 5, 3, 1. You're closing yourself off. If you close yourself off, you don't have anywhere to go down here. But if you play either 4, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1 on here, at least your 5th finger is free for what's coming next. This is so, so important in playing ragtime or any music with ragtime style basses. Now let's go on. Of course, 3, 2, 1 here. Remember, 5 here. Don't do this, but do this. See how close the thumb is to there? Your goal is to move as little as possible. It's called the economy of motion. Or you could play 3-1 there if you want. Now let's go on to the B section. The B section starts with a C octave and then an F7 chord, F, A, and E flat. play the fourth finger here on F, not 5. Do not play 5 here and then 5 here. Because look how much less movement you do if you play 4. You play 5 here. See the fourth finger? All you have to do is move the fourth finger to F. 2 is already there and 1 is here. If you use 5, you have to move all the way over here. Then you have to put 3 here and 1 here. So this is much better than this. It doesn't look like a big deal, but it is. Everything adds up, like I said before. And once again, I'll just drill it in. I'll have to say it a million times because I've seen this a million times. Do not play your fifth finger like this. Do not play it flat. Play it like this. Stretch your thumb out. Now, the easiest way to do that is to make sure that your elbow is near your body. If you turn your elbow outwards from your body, the wrist goes outwards. If you move your elbow towards the body, your hand automatically comes into the correct position and you're able to stretch your thumb out. See? So keep your elbow actually close to your body, not far away. A lot of pianists and a lot of teachers teach the opposite. They say, oh, you need to rotate your elbow out all the time, but actually that's not true. Your elbow should stay close to the body. If your elbow is close to the body, it will always enable your thumb to be in the correct position, which leads me to another rule. Never play with your thumb out. So, like here, a lot of people will play ragtime like this. They'll play a bass note here, and their thumb will be way out here. Now look at how far I have to travel to go to that E flat. That's a long, long distance here. Now, look at how far I have to travel. It's about almost half the distance. So the thumb, your thumb should always be around over the key bed. Your thumb should almost never be off the key bed like this. See, a lot of people do this. Their thumb is out and they have to travel way up, especially if you have to get your thumb on a black key, like there. This here is absolutely horrid technique. Terrible. Do not do this, ever, in any music. Okay? Keep your hand stretched out, keep your elbow near your body, and that allows your thumb to be out like this. Far, far superior technique, and it's much better economy of motion. Here's another, this leads me to another rule that will revolutionize your playing whenever you have octaves here. Do not, and I've said this many times before, I've said this like 1,000 times on the Well-Rounded Pianist, and I've said it a few times on YouTube on my tutorials. Do not ever play your thumb at the end of white keys like this when you're playing octaves. The only time when that's permissible is if you have large reaches, like for example a 10th. Okay, I can reach 10, but just barely if I play at the end of the keys. If I want to play a 10th and not break it, it's really the only thing I can do. But ninths, sort of in between. Octaves though, you should, most adults with normal sized hands should be able to reach an octave. If you have extra small hands, maybe not. If you're a child or adolescent, you probably won't unless you're large, unless you're tall and have a large span. But nevertheless, most adults with normal sized hands, my hands are just normal size. They're not long. I don't have long, lanky fingers. They're actually sort of short and stumpy. I can reach an octave pretty well. You need to learn to play octaves with your thumb here and not here at the end of the key. So this little passage in Swipesy here, watch the thumb. Thumb here, especially the thumb should be up even more if you have a black key next. Then it's close to the black key. Close to the black key. It stays here because you have to go to this black key. And now it stays here. And then it stays here. So it's and if you want, you can play 4 in the black. That's not a huge issue. The issue is where you put your thumb, not whether you play 5 or 4 on the black keys. So if you want to just add a little ease to it, you can play 4 in the black keys if you want, and if you can. See how 4 is usually closer to the black keys. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is where you put your thumb. Now compare this to this. This is what I see a lot of. You see thumb at the end, you have to go all the way to get the black, then they come all the way back. They stay at the end, then they have to go all the way up to get the black, then they come all the way back. This is a terrible technique. This is much superior. That is far superior. You can see the thumb has a line. So the thumb just has to move just a little bit to go in to play the black key, and then it's moving out. So that's a technique that comes to mind when I'm playing octaves here in the left hand. And then the rest is pretty much the same. Now let's turn our attention to the entertainer. The entertainer, I'm going to do that because it's very famous and a lot of people play it. And let's see here if I can find it in the book. So the entertainer, we're going to look at just the A section here. So. So let's go through the A section here. A lot of what I went through in Swipesy also applies to the entertainer. So we're going to just review these techniques that are so vital in playing ragtime, which really will revolutionize your playing. So I see a lot of this. I see this all the time. When people play the entertainer, they'll play 5 on C, and they'll go up and they'll play 5, 3, 1. Now we know already from Swipesy that's not good. Not good at all. You're much better off either playing 3, 2, 1 or 4, 2, 1. Either of those are good. 4, 2, 1 works, 3, 2, 1 works. But not 5, 3, 1. Avoid that at all costs. Sometimes I play 3, 2, 1, sometimes 4, 2, 1. That's not a big deal. But the big deal is whether is avoiding 5 on that lower note. So let's go. So 3, 2, 1, 5. Once again, you're not going to play your octave here. You're going to play it strong. Play your hand up. Don't play flat. Play your wrist up. Here. 5. Either 4, 2, 1 or 3, 2, 1. your fifth finger up to play that note. See how little I'm moving? This is perfect economy of motion. About halfway through the A section. You see how my hand is always stretched out? It's always fanned out. The thumb is always here. The thumb is never out here. The thumb is never off the keyboard. It's always here. Now, I'm right here. I'm right here. Now here 5 is okay. The reason, because the next chord, it's sort of the range is moving upwards. And so here, it's not a big deal if you play 5. Actually, that's okay. Now, I have found, generally speaking, that if the chord you're playing is in second inversion, like this, oftentimes 5 is okay. If it's first inversion, it's almost always better to play 4 or sometimes 3. And I'll show you here. It's this passage, it's the last 4 measures of the A section of the entertainer. We have a 5. 5 is okay here. That's not a big deal. You can play 4 if you want, but I don't think 5 is a big issue here. Now, but this is a big deal here. When you play the F chord, you're better off playing either 3-2-1 or 4-2-1, but not 5-3-1. So, do not play 5 and 5-3-1. This chord here is the first inversion. That's a first inversion chord, not a second inversion. So this I have found through my playing of a lot of ragtime, I've discovered the general rule that first inversions are best with 4 or 3, second inversions, not all the time, but sometimes are okay with 5. And it has to do with the distance between the notes. There's 4 steps between the bottom and the middle in second inversions, and there are only 3 steps between the bottom and the middle in first inversions. Now that has to do with which fingers you're going to play it. Okay there. Now let's go a little in the B section here. So we have this part here. Okay, I'm in that section here. So we have our octave. When you have to travel a long distance like this, it's not a big deal to play 5. 5 is okay there. But notice, this is a second inversion. So 5 is permissible in second inversion chords. But I'm still expanding the hand out. Now here is a first inversion. So I would play probably 4-2-1 here, or perhaps 3-2-1. 4-2-1. Here I would play 4-2-1, because you're playing 5 here. You have a 5 here, 3-2-1. Do not play 5 and then 5-3-1. Play 5, 3-2-1. 5, 3-2-1. And then 4-2-1. Always play the fingers that are closest. When you're playing these octaves, do not play at the end of the key, play up here. Stretch your thumb out to travel. keep your hand high, keep your wrist high. Do not sag your wrist down low, keep it up high. Okay, so that pretty much sums up most of the techniques you'll find in left-hand ragtime playing. Let's just summarize these things. First of all, the number one rule is striving for the best economy of motion. You want to move as little as possible. You want to open your hand up so you can stretch things with 3-2-1 or 4-2-1. When most not so advanced pianists or pianists who don't know any better play 5-3-1. So do avoid 5-3-1 on a lot of these chords after playing the bass note. Rule number 2, in order to align your thumb here in the proper place, to not have it over the keys or at the end of the keys like this, in order for your thumb to be in the proper place, your elbow must be close to your body. Your elbow, if your elbow is far from your body, your thumb will travel out to a place you don't want it to be. If your elbow is close to the body, your thumb automatically is in the correct position here. And this also applies to the right hand. So I'm a big advocate of keeping your elbows close to the body. Do not twirl them around and bring them away from the body, because then your thumbs will be dangling down here or be here and not be in the correct places. So here my elbows are out from the body. Now my elbows are close to the body. See, the thumbs are in the proper positions here. And then the rule of playing octaves. The rule of playing octaves, you don't want to be at the end of the keys. You want to be, your thumb should be about right here. If you're playing black keys, if you have to go to black keys with your thumb, then the thumb should be even a little bit closer to the black keys to allow for the thumb to hit the black keys. So the thumb is the anchor of the hand. And where your thumb is, if your thumb is in the proper position, then almost always your fingers will be in the proper position too. So the thumb is the anchor of the hand, not the fifth finger. The fifth finger doesn't determine anything. The thumb determines everything. So make sure your thumb is in the proper place, and make sure you're stretched out, and you follow all these rules of economy of motion. It might hurt a little bit in the beginning because you might not be used to being stretched out. So you might have a little bit of pain, good pain that is, if you're practicing like this to keep your hands stretched out. But if you do this on a regular basis, you'll get used to it, and you will never have to shrink your hands into 5-finger positions. See, the less advanced pianists or pianists who don't know any better play left-hand basses in 5-finger positions. They're in a 5-finger position here, and then they're in a 5-finger position here. But if you really want to revolutionize your playing, you need to be in octave positions almost all the time. Stretching out your octaves almost all the time, and playing your 5th finger here with your elbow near your body and your hands stretched out. So that, in a nutshell, is the rules that I would say the most important rules in left-hand ragtime technique. And I do hope these will help you out, and I do know as a fact these will revolutionize your ragtime playing. So thank you for joining me in this video on YouTube, which is actually an exclusive YouTube video. Most of my tutorials are on the Well-Rounded Pianist. So if you want to learn more from me on ragtime and classical and theory and other aspects of piano, go to the Well-Rounded Pianist and join today. You will discover this is one of the greatest sites out there right now, with thousands, literally thousands of tutorials, most of them not on YouTube. So thank you for joining me today, and until we meet again.